E360 TV proudly presents Messages of Inspirational Stories TV show. Live streaming now to millions of devices around the world on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook live streaming. Our shows are available video on demand on these channels. And we broadcast daily, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on these channels. On Mondays, Expanding Your Business. Tuesdays, Finding Health Naturally. Wednesdays, Mentoring Our Youth. Thursdays, Pets We Love. And on Fridays, Women in Leadership. Brought to you by our producers and hosts, Jim Grant and Donna Guinois. Along with our host, Beata Severin Reed and Emerson Brantley. Supported by our admin team of Michaela Vidal and Gaia Guinois Balconi Weda. And welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The Messages of Inspirational Stories proudly brought to you by the good guys at the 6minutewebinar.com. And let me put up the 6minutewebinar.com's website. The 6-minute webinar enables you to be able to get your ideal message out on what product or what services you provide to your ideal client. And it's one of the greatest programs that we've had the opportunity of representing here on the show. You may recall we've had Rick Cesari on many times. And Rick has been, he is very well known for being behind the scenes on a lot of good products you may have heard of, like GoPro, OxyClean, George Foreman Grill, and many, many others. And when we walked Rick through the 6-minute webinar, he described it as a USP. And I said, USP, what's that? Ultimate Selling Proposal. And I thought, wow, I think that's what he said. The P stood for proposal. Anyway, it was ultimate. I got that much. That's what I heard. And but it really does enable you to get your thoughts centered and crystal clear to your ideal client, because whether you have one product or two products or 4 or 5 products, your ideal client is coming to you to see if you can help them with their one problem. It may be a specific need. It may be some pain, whatever it might be. They're not interested in the other things that you do. They're only interested in the one thing that you can do for them. And that's why they're there. And Emerson's trying to get here. Let's see. I hear him coming on his horse. No, he's got some internet connections. I see him there with devices are not connected. He's working on that behind the scenes. And hopefully Joel will be able to tune in too. But we're so glad that you're here. Last week, we started out on vitamins. And we're going to pick up with that again today. But I need to pay some more bills. Mr. Bill Heinrich, The 7 Levels of Truth. This is one of the greatest books to help you realize that the little things in life don't matter. We hear that a lot. But I love what Bill says here on the back side. I'm going to read the top cover. I'm going to share this with you, I should say, excuse me. This book is for anyone seeking answers, solutions, and success in life. And listen to this. Your birthright. I want you to embrace that. Your birthright is to enjoy a life full of love, abundance, peace, and joy. The 7 levels of truth will allow you to achieve all of these results in your life. And Bill was so kind to me, he asked me to endorse the very back of the book there. And I always goof up the lights here, but you might be, if I move that closer, you might be able to see Jim Grant there at the very bottom right here, my name. Where's my finger at? Oh, there it is. Anyway, enough said on that. Also, too, I want to give a plug to the book about your health turnaround story. This book was published by a fellow producer and host here on E360 TV, Mr. Austin J. Haynes. He has had the Flashpoint series, and this is a picture of Austin. He's a great friend of mine. I keep bumping into things. Excuse me, folks. Sooner or later, I'll get house trained here. But he invited me to tell my story about my heart after I had my heart attack and my recovery and all that, and lessons from the heart. So I wanted to give him a plug. And also, I've been watching people here behind the scenes, trying to get in. Joel's trying to get in, and everybody's having a little bit of, connection problems there. But that's life, no big deal. We're going to drive on here. But I forgot to put up the 6-minute webinar website there, and it's here in one of the banners here. Donna's not with me today, so I'm kind of doing everything there. But go to the 6minutewebinar.com and ask for to give you a free consultation of what you're doing right now and see if the 6-minute webinar will be a good fit for you. There's no cost, no obligation. They're not going to put you on a mailing list and send you, 49 emails a day to try to get you to buy something, because we don't play that game. Every person in every product and every company I endorse on my show meets our standards here at the TV station. They got to be reputable, they got to be credible, and they got to be respectful. If they don't do that, they're out of here. Okay, let's get started here a little bit with vitamins while I'm waiting on Emerson and them to come in. We know that vitamins are an organic compound that we need in very small amounts, in very small quantities. And most vitamins we need, they come from our food, because the body either does not produce the vitamins we need or the minerals, or it produces very, very little. And last week, we were able to get down to vitamin A and vitamin B. Vitamin A is for good eye health. Deficiency, this may cause night blindness, and which causes the clear front, and it also causes the macular degenerative. Is that the way they pronounce that? Something like that. Either way, your eyes start getting cloudy, and you can't see as well. And let me get my tongue going here. It causes your eye to start looking a little cloudy. And good sources of vitamin A include liver, cod liver oil, carrots, broccoli, sweet potatoes. Oh, I love sweet potatoes. Butter. We hear a lot of things about butter, but butter, kale, spinach, pumpkins, collard greens, and some cheeses, eggs, apricots, watermelon, and cantaloupe, and milk. And vitamin B1 is another great source for us to have, because its function is to produce various enzymes that will help break down blood sugars within our bodies. And that's very, very important, because the deficiency of that, this may cause, is that Berberi? B-E-R-I? And I can't pronounce that last name, but anyway, it's a syndrome of WERNICKE-KORSAKOFF syndrome. Now, but the main thing for you to know, great sources of vitamin B1 can be found in yeast, pork, cereal grains, sunflower seeds. That's a great source. I love sunflower seeds. Brown rice, whole grain rice, asparagus, rye, kale, cauliflower, potatoes, oranges, livers, and also eggs. We hear a lot of things about eggs, but eggs are a great source for vitamin B1. In addition to that, we went down and covered a little bit quickly, and I'm giving a quick recap before we get into vitamin 7, where we picked off vitamin B7. Vitamin B2, riboflavin, it's water soluble. The function and the importance that you need vitamin B2 in your body is essential for the growth and development of body cells, and it helps metabolize food. It helps with your digestion. Deficiencies includes inflammation in the lips and fissures in the mouth. Now, good sources of vitamin B2 comes from asparagus, bananas, persimmons. Huh, I didn't know. Have you ever ate a persimmon? I never have. I guess if you have, you've been living right. Okra, chard, cottage cheese, milk, yogurt, eggs, meat and fish, and green beans. And there's a lot of great information here at this one website. And last week, I think I still got it up here. I want to put up the website where we're getting this information from. Let's see here. Is it still there? There it is. There it is. Medical News Today, the articles, 13 vitamins. That's where I'm getting this information from. We've done a lot of research behind the scenes, but we wanted to give a condensed version. And one of the things that we like to do when we're on the air, and that is to provide information so you can do the research yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, I think I hear Emerson coming. Yeah, he's riding in here on his big white horse here. Let's welcome him to the stage here. Hey, Emerson, how you doing? Can you hear me? You still working on your audio?
I think I got you.
You got me. Yeah.
All right.
You're sounding real good there.
Ain't technology grand?
Especially when it works. Emerson, I keep telling you, you got to go down to the ATM machine, get some quarters, and put them in the machine. You know, I mean, we're old school guys. We understand.
Switch computers, switch location, log in with a different login. StreamYard didn't recognize the email. Holy guacamole, Jim. Life is good.
Oh my goodness. It really is. And I've been sharing with the folks, give them a quick recap of the different vitamins. And did you have the link that I sent you there on the vitamins?
I do. Let me see if I can pull it back up because I've been
okay. All right. Okay.
Go ahead. Between everything I could here.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to drive on. With vitamin B3 Yeah. Vitamin B3 was another vitamin that we covered last week, excuse me. And the function, the body needs niacin for the cells to grow and work correctly. And deficiencies, there's low level results in the health tissue called pellagra, P-E-L-L-A-G-R-A-N, which causes diarrhea, skin changes, and intestinal upset. Now, good sources for vitamin B3 comes from chicken, beef, tuna, salmon, eggs, milk, tomatoes, leafy vegetables, broccoli, carrots, nuts, seeds, tofu, and lentils. And Emerson, while you're looking about that, let's talk a little bit. Folks, this is interesting. We're planning on having a young man, when we get all of our schedules worked out, that has an amazing product. And Emerson, I'd like for you to just share a little bit about the product that this young man, he's 17 years of age.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Connor, take it away, brother. Yeah, take it away about Connor.
So I don't want to reveal too much because I want the people to be able to get it and enjoy it. But here's a young man.
Give him the 5,000-foot level.
All of you who are parents out there, this is a young man who he was born with a world of medical issues, and he's 17, has the most amazing outlook on life and attitude of anyone you would ever want to meet. But several years ago, totally by accident, he was given a kit for microgreens. Okay. And microgreens are basically like any other greens. They're just littler, okay? But you can grow them in about a week. And he began to find that he was able to see changes in his physical ailments, in his outlook, and his personality, and all sorts of other things, simply by going back to basic, original, the nutrients that we get from the earth. and
Mhm.
and it became a passion for him. I mean,
Yeah.
folks, I was just talking to his mom not 20 minutes ago before we
Mhm.
started this, and I was just said, I spent 2 or 3 hours with her and her husband and him last night, and I just said, I just wish at 17, Jim, that
Mhm.
I had had the kind of passion about something that helped so many people
Mm.
as he does. So
Yeah.
nutrients, vitamins, all of the things that we're talking about today, you
Mhm.
know, for many people, you can't get it from the food that we can buy.
That's
There are
true.
food deserts all over this country in some of the most wealthiest and populated areas of the earth.
Mhm.
And we have to be aware of the fact that our body needs
Oh, yeah.
these chemicals. And I'm going to take it one more step, Jim, and then I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay.
Those of you who know me know that I spend a fair amount of time. I've spent a lot of time in marketing, but a fair amount of time marketing in the area of brain science and the
Mhm.
area of DNA research. And DNA research has come so far in our lifetime, Jim.
Mhm. It really
All of
has.
these nutrients, everything that we take into our body, everything that we're going to be talking about today, every single one of these on this shopping list of vitamins and nutrients and supplements, every single one of those affect parts of your body, and many of them, I would say most of them probably, many of them affect your brain chemistry, your
Mhm.
outlook, your emotions, your feelings, your energy levels. Your
Mhm.
your brain controls your heart rate and your
Mhm.
adrenaline and all of those different things. And when we start getting some of this stuff in balance
Mhm.
in our life, and honestly, Jim, for most people, the diets that we have available to us just don't do it. But
Oh,
when we
yeah.
start getting it into balance, all of a
Mhm.
sudden our outlook changes, our energy changes, our
Oh,
heart
yeah.
rate level. We have more,
Oh.
all of these things begin happening.
Mm.
And so anyway,
Yeah.
I'll hop off. I'll hop the sofa. You folks
I
be
just
watching. You be watching because we're going
yeah,
to get Connor on this
it's coming.
show. On
I
this show, okay. He's 17. He's a little bit scared maybe of talking to some of you, on a TV
so be
show. But
gentle with him.
he is so excited
Yeah.
about reaching, especially if you have children or grandchildren, of
Mhm.
reaching kids with the idea of being able to take a little tray and grow your own food in a week that you
Yeah.
can eat and feed to your family. And it's so cool. And it's not like getting, eat your beans, kid.
That's right.
Eat your broccoli, kid.
Yeah.
It's like kids get excited about it. So
The thing
anyway,
that blew me away, I was on the phone with Connor. I spent about 45 minutes,
oh,
close to an
at
hour.
least,
Yeah. And Emerson was there, and we had me on speakerphone. And
yeah,
the thing about it, these little trays are about 9 inches wide, 11 inches long.
yeah, yeah.
And all you
Okay.
got to do is give it just a cup of water. I think he said maybe once a day or something like that. And you have fresh greens
Yep. In a week.
in a week.
In a week.
And this is something I brought up in that conversation. I don't know if you remember this or not, Emerson, but think about all of the organic growers out there.
Hmm.
And I made the comment, and I've made this comment many times.
Hmm.
That is, what do the organic growers do about the acid rain that falls on the crops that gets absorbed into the soil and into the roots and into the plant? That's a valid question.
Yeah.
And
Changes the
one other
chemistry of the plant. Sure.
yes, it does. And what we eat, we are what we eat. And also, too, ladies and gentlemen, as a nicety to know before we get back into vitamins, I want to also share with you to do your own research on dandelions.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
very, I'm very compassionate about that because of the heart attack I had, the open heart surgery. It's kind of like the old saying, sometimes where you stand depends on where you've been forced to sit. Okay. And dandelions, do your research on it. Do like I did. I did my research on it. I'm working with my cardiologist. He says, you're doing great. We're doing lab tests to make sure my triglycerides and all this stuff's in order. But don't go renegade on anything. That's my point. because you can hurt yourself if you don't know what you're doing or harm yourself. But do
You
your
know,
research
Jim.
on.
Jim, you and I had a funny little story that I shared about how my wife and I both got paid as kids for digging up dandelions. And how every so often we would blow the little puff balls so that, I mean, we called
He
it
was
an investment, you know.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Look at there. All of those grew up the next day. But
he's
since I did
reinvesting
that show,
in the farm. You were
in the
reinvesting
farm,
in the
that was our
farm. Yeah.
farm. One year I made $10 one week at a
$10.
penny a
Wow.
dandelion. I'll let you guys work that out on your
Oh,
calculator.
okay. All
But
right.
we saw dandelions, Jim. You don't know this. Jim doesn't know this. This past week we had a little bit of a heart scare with Ann, and literally on our way back from the ER and everything else, we got home and we decided to go on a walk right after we got home, and we passed some dandelions, and we were both talking about that show, which was just, what was that, a week ago, Jim, or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we talked about that show, and we laughed about how we had dug them up as kids and
Right,
how
right.
important dandelions are
Mhm.
to your health.
Yes. Now, when you do your research on dandelions, and be sure and talk it over with your doctor before
Oh,
you,
yeah.
do anything, because you don't want to go renegade or rogue, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can harm yourself.
Yeah.
But the common denominator I have found, and this is just one source here, the website there on healthline.com/nutrition/dandelion-benefits, etc. But
He's got
the
it down at the bottom of the screen.
that's right. It's on the marquee. And therefore, when you watch it on replay or whatever, just freeze it and you can see it.
I got to show Jim how to make short URLs for you guys.
Well, I just copied and pasted, Anyway, that's what came off the internet. Anyway, but my point being is that when you do your research on dandelions, the common denominator I found that's really good is that lowers the inflammation in the body.
Yeah.
Inflammation is the fertilizer for all disease and health issues
that is so true. That is so true.
So do your homework on that. And getting back to vitamins.
So much of our diet adds to inflammation. It doesn't decrease inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
That is the richness of our Western diet. I'm not slamming it. I'm not telling anybody to eat this or don't eat that, but I'm just saying the richness of our diet and the kind of diet that we developed is not the kind of diet that our bodies were made to be able to run in a healthy way.
You're exactly right. And by the way, you say Ann had a heart thing, and I did not know how she.
No. Oh. Gosh. I get enough emails from everybody. I don't want to get emails about Ann's heart attack.
Okay.
But yeah. No, we just had a bit of a scare. She has a monitor that's implanted and everything else. We just had a bit of a scare. But any of you who know, if you go to the doggone ER, you're going to be there for 7 or 8 hours probably. And sure enough, we were. But Jim, I was so amazed at this. So they had the ambulance come with the EMTs. And they also had a fire truck that came out because it came from a fire station that's only a couple of miles from our house. We had 5 people, in our bedroom at 4 a.m. And I'm thinking, holy Toledo, I've never seen this many show up for something.
Yeah.
But they all come out and they're
amazing.
learning and they're seeing and they're all working together. And it was good to see. It was good to see.
Yeah, let's get back on vitamins here because I was talking about them, and right before you rode up there on your horse,
so rudely jumped in.
Yeah, no. And we're just finished. We were getting ready to go. Just to recap on vitamin B5 real quickly, it's necessary for producing energy and hormones. Symptoms, if it's deficiency, is that includes you feel like pins and needles in your fingers and things like that. You get kind of numbness. Good sources of vitamin B5 is meats, whole grains, broccoli, avocados, and yogurt. And then last week we closed out with vitamin B6. It's very vital for the formation of red blood cells. If you're if you don't have enough blood cells, you're going to suffer from anemia. You're going to be weak. And good sources of this include
Not pleasant.
chickpea. Hmm?
Not a pleasant thing.
Oh, no, not at all. A good source of these is chickpeas, beef liver, bananas, squash, and nuts. And I mean, I think we eat bananas every single day.
Yeah.
I was teasing
And
my
they're high in
wife.
all
I said,
sorts of other good things like potassium and other things.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was telling my
Jim,
wife.
Jim, I got to tell you how far we've come over the years.
Okay.
We're going back into the 1940s, early 50s. My mother, as a young woman, had anemia.
Mm-hmm.
Anemia, exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
And those of us who are old enough will remember seeing ads for Geritol. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Geritol is the very first supplement that you could buy that they were able to get iron to stabilize where you could have it in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, iron isn't just something like all these others.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Geritol is one that you could do that. But liver was one of those core sources, but she couldn't cook it. Okay, now everybody, if you have a queasy stomach, you may not want to hear this, but she could put it into, I think I can say Coca-Cola, okay, on TV, can I?
Oh, yeah, sure.
On cola. She could put it in cola, okay, how about that? And let it sit there for 30 minutes, and the acid in cola was enough to chemically cook the liver where she could eat it and get all the iron out of it. So think of it. And the reason I'm bringing that up, Jim, think of what we have to go through, folks, or what people have to go through in order to get the nutrients we're talking about. Yet you can get vitamin B1 or 2 or 12. You can get the entire complex of vitamin B vitamins, of iron, of all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to do that if we have a deficiency in some of those areas. And we are so fortunate today because we have these options.
Mm-hmm.
We have these options.
We certainly do. And I remember as a boy, this is one of the nice things about old country doctors. This is back in the 50s. And I was probably about 10 years of age. So it was still in the 50s. I can guarantee you that. I was anemic and I didn't know it. I just told my mother, I'm
You were
feeling tired.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I was. Mm-hmm. And my mother took me to the doctor. He was a country doctor. And he checked my blood count, my red blood. He said, yeah, he's anemic. And he told my mother, go down to this store here and just pick up some 3S tonic. It's got three S's on it. S dot, S dot, S dot, S dot. 3S tonic. And I still use 3S tonic today, and I'm not paid for their endorsement or anything like that. But the fact of it is, it does taste better now than it did in the 50s. I can guarantee you that. Because back in the 50s, it tastes like metal. I mean,
hey, Jim, our parents didn't say it has to taste bad to be good for no reason, right?
Yeah, if it tasted bad, it's supposed to be good for you, But anyway, I wanted to share that with you just in case, someone out there would like to know on that. And
maybe
so
nobody,
now,
maybe nobody listening is saying, "Hey, I have anemia," or "Hey, I need to." But you know what? Here's the thing: when we are in a good homeostasis place, a balanced place in our life, physically, that's great. When we're younger, that's a lot easier to do. You can eat pizza and drink beer every night, and you still are kind of doing okay. Might have a hangover, but you're still in that place. But as you get older, your body is not as able to process and adapt and make up for these deficiencies as well. So paying attention, regardless of your diet and everything else, paying attention to having the nutrients we're talking about, that's profoundly important.
Yes, it is. Because if you're a little tired and run down and you feel you don't have enough energy, you may want to have a blood test done and have your red blood cells checked before you go renegade. And these are some great products. SSS tonic. I've used it since I was a boy because it solved my problem. And every now and then when I feel like I'm, put my shoes on back and I feel like I'm kind of walking uphill, I'll take some 3S tonic, and it's not instant, but over the next couple of 3 days, it'll pick me back up. Now, vitamin
Jim,
B.
Jim, I'm going to add one other thing here.
All right.
Everything we're talking about today,
Mhm.
whenever you go in and talk to your doctor, you have these crazy 6 pages of questionnaires you have to answer, or all these screens you have to check off, right?
Right.
Everybody,
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody?
Yep.
When you list the medications that you take, also list the supplements that you take.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
doctor needs to know if you're taking certain supplements. Now, if you're taking a
Yeah.
multivitamin, put down that you'd have a multivitamin. But if you're taking
Mhm.
specific things like what we're talking about,
Yeah.
add those to the list so they know they're just as important.
Mhm.
I'll say it again, they are just as important as the prescribed medications you may be taking. Let your doctor know, because
Yeah.
there are
Because some.
interaction things to be considered.
Yes, there is. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because doctors are alerted with medications because especially now there's a big push for people wanting to get more natural and all that. And if
Yes.
you're using natural supplements with medication, you could have a little bit of a bumping of the heads from the chemical reaction from the ingredients. So please, let your doctor know. And it's also a good thing, even if you don't go see your doctor, just let them know, hey, I'm thinking about taking, especially if you're on medication, I'm thinking about taking this supplement here. Would it interfere with any of my prescribed medicine?
And especially
Because,
if you've ever had a major issue, like
oh, yeah.
everyone who's been watching knows Jim had a heart issue here.
Mhm.
What, a couple of years ago now, Jim,
Yeah.
hasn't
October
it? Yeah.
2021. Yeah.
So a year and a half ago. So he could be taking a supplement that is
Mhm.
helping that, or it could be a supplement that's interfering with something else that he's been prescribed. And
Mhm.
and unless his doctor is aware that it's there,
Yeah.
the doctor
Mhm.
isn't able to accurately address the issue and give him the advice that he needs to keep him
Yeah.
healthy and going, so you guys can have a TV
Exactly.
show every day,
Yeah,
every
exactly.
day,
Again,
every single
every
day.
day. Here I am, rocking like a hurricane. Oh my God, we better quit singing, otherwise they're gonna pull the plug on us. But vitamin B7, we have not gotten to this one here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Biotin, Biotin, vitamin
Okay.
B7. And Emerson, I'll let you take vitamin B9, but vitamin B7, it enables the body to metabolize proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It also contributes to keratin, a structural protein that's very, very important in your skin, your hair, and your nails. Now, the deficiency, if you have low levels of vitamin B7, this may cause dermatitis or, listen up, inflammation in the intestines.
Oh, wow.
That's a major, major issue right there. Inflammation in the intestines. You need to address that. Now, good sources of are for vitamin B7 is from egg yolk, liver, broccoli, spinach, and would you believe cheese? That's what they say here. Really, this is from Medical News Today. It's really amazing. And Emerson B9, that's known as folic acid. That's
Yeah.
pretty important stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So when you see, sometimes when you see on your multivitamins, you see lists. They don't always
Mhm.
have the list with a name like this. It may say, this and this and this and folic acid. You go, what's folic acid? That doesn't sound that good, but it is important. Like
Yeah.
the other B vitamins, and there are different ways that vitamins get absorbed in our bodies, Jim. These are all water soluble, so that's important. That means that you can take it with liquid. Now, if you're like me, I have to take my V vitamins after I've eaten something. Otherwise, my tummy isn't that happy with me. So we have to learn how these things work within your own body. But B9 is important for our DNA and our RNA.
Mm-hmm.
And if in understanding DNA is the building block of everything in your body,
Mm-hmm.
everything. The way you feel, think, act, the way you process information, the way you sleep, the way your energy level, everything. Your DNA is the map of who you are. Your DNA processes another molecule called RNA, and that
Mm-hmm.
RNA goes into the cells, and the RNA is the information from the DNA that it needs to process individual chemicals, proteins, hormones, and things in your body, especially in your brain, especially in your brain. But every single aspect of your body is affected by it. So, especially during pregnancy,
Hmm.
doctors really need to know your level of B9 because
Mm-hmm.
it affects the nervous system of the fetus. So
Yeah.
B9 for you, for women,
Mm-hmm.
women who may be pregnant, B9 is one of those vitamins. All of these vitamins your doctor needs to know about, all these supplements
Mm-hmm.
they need to know about. Well, this is an example of where this is one that it can affect the nervous system development of that fetus. Not
Mm.
necessarily in a bad way. They can recommend the supplements before and during pregnancy. And these, the vitamin B9, again, leafy vegetables, peas, legumes, liver again,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Whole grains, fortified grains, sunflower seeds, things like that. And there are even fruits that have some amounts of it. So eating a healthy diet
Mm-hmm.
is always okay. Letting your doctor know if you're focused on, and really I think that's the key word here, Jim. If you're
Mm-hmm.
focused on a supplement that's saying this is one of those key elements,
Mm-hmm.
your doctor needs to know. That's all.
Yeah. You're exactly right because it's so critical with everything with the complex medications that people take. It's so critical that you communicate with your doctor and let them take tests on you. Because, like in my case, I don't take any statins. This is with the knowledge of my cardiologist, and we're doing lab tests every 90 days to check my triglycerides and everything like that, blood test, and to make sure that I am achieving the goal because using the dandelion tea and stuff. But when it comes to other vitamins, vitamin B12, oh my goodness gracious. Again,
That's a
I
big
can,
one.
yeah, it's water soluble, which means you could just drink water with it or whatever. And it is one of the most important vitamins when it comes for us to, and it's essential for us to have adequate amounts of vitamin B12 in our bodies to help us have a healthy nervous system. And when we're deficient in vitamin B12, we actually, we can see neurological problems
Oh yeah.
and even some types of anemia. And so this is very, very important because in our life today we don't get all of the good nutrients that we used to out of our foods. We need to find a good source for vitamins, especially in areas of concern to you.
Yeah.
Just zero in on that and do your homework. Make the right decision to you after you discuss with your health professional. And good sources of vitamin B12 includes fish, especially shellfish, meat, poultry, eggs, milk, and other dairy products, fortified seals, some fortified soy products, and some fortified nutritional yeast.
And that's
And
that's one that a lot of people may not have heard of, Jim.
yeah,
But you can actually buy
mhm,
a product. I mean, even I'll just say the name, even Walmart or Target or one of those. But at your
Hmm.
grocery store, you can buy bags of what's called nutritional yeast. You can throw it
Hmm.
into milkshakes. You can throw it into
Yeah.
soups that you make. You can throw it into oatmeal. You can throw it, and it has a nutty flavor, a little bit of a nutty flavor. Uh, but it is an excellent, excellent source
Hmm.
of nutrition for you. And it doesn't alter the flavor of the food in any kind of a noticeable way, other than might give it a little bit of a nutty kind of a taste to it, which is kind of nice.
Hmm.
We've even put it in scrambled eggs before, Jim.
Really?
Um,
Wow.
it's an excellent addition to your diet that doesn't really change.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I'm saying that a lot because I'm so aware, folks. You have to understand. Um, my wife is a lifetime diabetic, type 1.
Hmm.
So for her, it's you do this, you live. You don't do this, you die. So our lifestyle is a little bit
Hmm.
is a lot different than somebody
Hmm.
who's lived for 40 or 50 years, or 30, 20 or 30 years, whatever. And suddenly I can't eat this and I can't eat that and I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to, and it's like our lifestyle is a lot different. It's just a real simple. These are simple things.
Hmm.
And you know what? Doggone it. Some of them really taste good, you know? When you start doing these things, they taste good. And you mean I can eat all of that? Yeah. And get these nutritional
Hmm.
supplements a lot of times through the food that you eat. If you
Hmm.
can't get it through the food you eat, if you live in a food desert or have
Hmm.
problems getting deliveries or being able to shop a nice selection of all of these different products and foods that we're talking about, then for goodness sake, find some good
Hmm.
supplements and take
Yeah.
care of you.
And
Take care of you.
one thing I've learned about supplements is that do your homework on them. Don't
Yes, yes,
don't
yes.
buy the cheapest one because cheapest ones may not be the best ones. I mean, chances I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that well, when it comes to profit over people, uh, it's some people will focus on the profit rather than focus on giving the people a great product. So
Yeah,
get all of your nutritional supplements from a trusted source.
yeah.
Ask questions because a good classic example, and I've told guys, don't take that. It's Viagra.
Mm,
They say, well, this is cheaper and this is that. Well, you don't know what you're getting. I mean, you could get, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to create any lawsuits, but I mean, you really don't know what you're putting in your body. And there's other ways that you can increase the blood flow in your body because I tell people that's an external sign of a more internal serious problem when you got restricted blood flow. So be prudent, check into that, talk to doctors about it. And I, this is me personally, I wouldn't take that if, fortunately, I don't have to, but I mean, I would just be leery of it and don't buy it online because it's cheaper. The blue pill here is, $8 a piece or whatever it runs over here. It's $4 a piece. You
I don't know,
don't know what.
Jim. That can be a really hard discussion for a lot of these people.
Yeah, I'm just saying, folks, be prudent because this is your
He's
body,
not going
your
to laugh
health.
at that, folks.
Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest with you because I mean, what you put in, it's your money, it's your body.
Sure.
Make your decision. Let me leave it at that. But B12
I
is
got
a. Go ahead.
no. I'm going to do an aside that has nothing to do with our topic here. Okay.
Okay. All right.
As a lifetime marketer, and you've been in a class with me, Jim, so I make this as a joke
Oh
sometimes,
yeah.
and I'm
Mhm.
not making any of the issues that people are having as a joke. Please understand that, folks.
No. Sure.
But listen, when I hear one of those ads, I'm just going to say it because it's on TV, so we're on TV. When I hear one
Yep.
of those ads that say, "If you have an erection that lasts longer than 4 hours, call your physician," folks. I've been in
Yeah.
marketing my entire life, and you know what I say in the class that Jim went through is like, you know what? The lawyer didn't write that one. The marketer guy did. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the marketing But it's one of those little funny things, all of those
Yeah.
crazy disclaimers that they show after every
Mhm.
single medical drug that they
Oh,
come out with.
yeah. Yeah.
That's just one of the ones that just sticks out.
Oh, yeah. One that just sticks out. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
did
kind
I
of a,
say that?
yeah, yep. That's kind of a hard one to
It's
follow up on.
it,
We're going to
it's
get back
hard
to
to tell a joke like this.
the rest. Meanwhile, back at the Vitamin Ranch, the Good Ranch,
The
vitamin
Good
B12.
Ranch. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to share a
Not
little
the
bit
Bunny
more
Ranch, the
because
Good Ranch. Yeah.
there you go. Vitamin B12, it is very, very critical, ladies and gentlemen, for your central nervous system, your nerve tissue health,
Oh yeah.
that your brain function, and the production of red blood cells. That is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's the foundation, but those are very important parts of your health to be make sure that you got good nerve tissue health and to make sure your brain is functioning well and you have good red healthy blood cells. Because if you just, you may have everything else going for you, but if you got more white cells than red, you're not going to feel very well. You're not going to, because I know what I felt like as a kid when I was anemic. I felt like it was kind of scary for me, really, because I was about 8 or 9, and I'd get lightheaded at school, and I felt like I was going to pass out, and it was a little bit scary for me. So so this is why I'm so passionate about that, because like I said before, when you've been through there, you know how people feel, and you don't want them to go through what you did. And vitamin B12 is just very, very critical. And the deficiency or insufficiency can occur when levels of vitamin B12 become too low to meet the demands of our body. Everybody's body is different. My requirements for vitamin B12 is different than yours, is different than Emerson's. So you got to be prudent and listen to your body. It says here in the United States and the United Kingdom, approximately 6% of adults age 60 or younger have a vitamin B12 deficiency. And the rate once
Wow.
we pass 60 is over 20%. So if you're in our age
Oh
group, I'm
wow.
74. If you're past 60 and you don't feel, quite energetic, you may want to have your doctor check your red blood cells because you're entitled to have health and energy and feel vigorous. You really are. And it could be as a simple thing of a vitamin B12 deficiency. I know I'm spending a lot of time on that, but like I said, when I was a
Well, it's a
kid,
big one. This is a big
I,
one.
I know how I felt. I didn't want to go to school because I'd get lightheaded and it scared me because I didn't know what was going on. I was only 8 or something. And I'm thankful after my mother took me to the doctor, I got that problem solved. But, with an 8-year-old kid, if your red blood cells are low, you are not going to feel good. So if you're feeling run down and, this might be an easy way for you to fix that problem. But use your doctor, have them do a blood test on you. I keep stressing that because therefore, then you know what the deficiency is because you don't want to overtreat something. That's very critical, isn't it?
Well, and that's a critical point. It's in everything that we do, and there are a lot of people who really
Mhm.
have developed kind of negative or resistant or avoidance or other things with regards to medical professionals. And to be honest, you know, there are challenges in the medical profession today, and the time that we
Oh,
get
yeah.
to spend, and the level of care that we get, the level of information that we get. I've been really fortunate. I switched after a few years ago. My primary doctor unfortunately passed away, and she was amazing, and
Mm.
the assistant that took it over was just a real by the book person, and was constantly trying to have me add more meds that I need uh,
Hmm.
to my regimen, and so I changed, and I have a young guy now, and he takes the time, he discusses it with me, he does the research and calls me back when he finds information
Wow.
that's necessary. And I just feel so fortunate, and that's, if you don't have that,
Hmm.
I'm just, I can only encourage you. If you don't have that, find it.
Hmm.
Find it,
Hey,
because there are
amen.
good medical people out there who care about more than, they care about you. They care about
Yeah.
you and about finding what
Mhm.
works for you, not just something that is the latest,
Yeah.
greatest list of stuff to do.
Yeah. I got to give a shout out real quickly to the Baylor Scott and White Hospital here in the Brenham, Texas area. And of course, they're in Texas and other areas. But when I hit the ER that night, because I'm in their system on that Saturday night, October 29th, 2021, with my heart attack, my regular doctor, my family doctor, was notified. He got an email. Hey, one of your patients hit the ER. And then I went to see him after I had my open heart surgery. About a week later, after I came home, I went to see him, and he says, I was just blown away. He says, I saw you were in there and I saw these things going on. He says, I couldn't believe this was happening to you, Jim, because you've always been so healthy. You didn't have any problems. You didn't have any of this. You didn't have any of that. And he said, I was thinking, oh, poor guy. Poor guy. He's going through this, that, and the other. I said, yeah, it wasn't too much fun either. I said, as soon as they turned their back and unhooked me from everything, I ran out the back door. But I like to give a shout out because it's very, very important what Emerson says. You need to find a doctor who cares about
Yes.
you, who
Yes.
talks to you, who asks you, how are you doing? And
Who answers your questions?
yes, yes, yes. In
Who
other
tells you the
words,
questions you should be asking if you knew better?
that's right. That's right. Because I want a doctor, when I'm in front of my doctor, it may be for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But I want him to have the same attitude that I experienced from those wonderful nurses. And I was treated like a prince inside the hospital there. Every time they came in, they asked me if I was in pain. No. And thinking back now, man, I could have had a cheap thrill while I was in there, you know. They could have put me in orbit around Jupiter. But the way I was treated, I want that doctor to look me straight in the eye for 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm the VIP on planet Earth in front of him.
Yeah.
Nobody else exists except me. And I
Yeah.
want him to evaluate me. I want him to ask me questions. I want him to be able to listen to my questions or comments. And because you deserve that. And that's so critical. And Emerson, we're about out of time. My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure glad that you were able to get up here on your horse, because
Oh, listen to that.
you got to have a little fun here. And ladies and gentlemen, we're
Jim,
going to
you're
be back.
best. You know that?
Yep, I hear you. I'm here. I'm mentally challenged. But next week we're going to be talking some more about health, and I'm going to finish up this series here: vitamin C, vitamin D, E, and K. We'll get into that, and we'll talk a little bit more about some various supplements and what is the best time to take supplements. There's a method to the madness there too. But hopefully, Joel will be back
Yeah.
with us next
Morning,
week.
morning or night, with
Yeah,
food or without food.
yeah,
What if you want to
upside.
have a glass of wine? When should you have
Yeah,
the supplement? You know?
yeah, yeah. And do you hang it up? Are you hanging upside down like a bat, or standing vertical straight up? Or sitting down? We'll get into
I
that. We're
never
gonna
knew
have some
that
fun.
mattered. Does that
Oh
matter?
yeah. Only if your feet don't hold on to the limb too well. But ladies and gentlemen, we've really enjoyed being with you today. And please, please, please visit Emerson on his website there, Web3. That's his, hey, contact him, Web3 at web3direct.com. His website
Oh
is
yeah.
right there by his name, web3direct.com. Emerson is also part of the he's a board member, excuse me, with the U.S. Green Chamber of Commerce. That's their website there. He's an honorary host here with us, and he's part of our family. And Emerson, thank you so much for being with us today. And I'll give you just a couple of minutes here, just to finish, a couple of seconds, I should say, to finish up any comments you'd like to say.
Well, I was just going to say we talked real briefly about the special guest that we're going to have, and hopefully I'm going to be able to talk Connor into doing more than just one show.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
young guy, but he's got a great passion. And one of
Mhm.
the things that we're working on together, Jim,
Mhm.
is to find a way to get this microgreen program into elementary schools, maybe even middle schools or senior schools, but especially
Amen.
elementary schools all over the
Yeah.
country. So if
Mm.
you have a school and you'd like to see your kids being able to have kits provided for them where they could grow their own greens and get excited about vegetables for the first time in their life,
Mhm.
then be sure to reach out either to Jim or to me. You have the information, and just let us know and
Mhm.
watch for that show because it's
Yeah.
going to be an eye opener. It really is
Yeah.
going to be an eye opener, and I'm
Mhm.
going to try to get him to do more than one, Jim.
We'll
Yeah.
play it here. He's very passionate about doing.
Oh, he's
And I've
passionate
I've kind
about
of
it.
like given, yeah, I've given him a little bit of comfort there zone about being on TV, because it's just we're just having conversations with our family and
That's it.
friends around the world. And you can
That's it.
contact Emerson at web3@web3direct.com, or you can contact us here at the TV station at inspiration at e360tv.com. That's our website here, or our email address, I should say, here at the TV station. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is gone.
Yes.
Emerson, thank you so much. And most importantly, be sure and love yourself, be good to yourself. Check out this information we've shared with you, because you owe it to yourself to live a healthy life. You owe it to yourself. It's your birthright to love yourself, and most importantly, forgive yourself. And Emerson and I, we both hope and pray that you and your family, your loved ones, are healthy, happy, and blessed in all areas of your life. We'll be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.